Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be unboxing the latest Tiana limited edition doll released by the Disney Store back in December. And after I unbox her completely, I'm going to do an outfit swap, putting her in the Tonner gown, which Tiana's 10th anniversary doll is currently wearing. And I'm saying 10th anniversary, having expected the next doll to come out to be her 15th anniversary doll, because that was the next milestone landmark. But the thing is, they decided to do a doll based on her ride instead, the ride that was open last year, Tiana's Bio Adventure. And in regards to that, I do have quite a few opinions. But before I get there, I'm going to explain why I have two dolls. I was always planning to buy one to keep in mint condition and one to keep, or one to open up and put in other outfits or just display open so I can admire her details better, because it's a new sculpt. Probably it's the third Tiana sculpt by Disney Store, and it's her prettiest one yet. So that's why I wanted to have one that I can open up and really get close to. And and it's a good thing I bought two, because there's this thing that happens with the Disney Store where these dolls get shipped in a shipper box that's supposed to go inside another box. And I thought ordering two meant they would for sure put them in another shipping box, because this is the sort of shipper, the protective box that comes with it. And as you can see, they didn't ship it inside another box. So the damage that I could see as soon as I picked her up, I knew that there was going to be damage on the box inside. There's a little bit more damage, but I'm just saying that's the worst of it. And so the doll that I'm going to open has some damage to her box. And I contemplated for quite a while if I should, because she's got some damage here. And it's going to seem so superficial and stupid to anyone who doesn't collect limited edition Disney dolls. But to the other collectors out there, they'll know how infuriating that is to get a doll box that's damaged, because part of these dolls is their displayability, and that's why they come in these poses that are, supposed to show them at their best, and you just want to put them on a shelf and keep them that way. But I can't with her, but it's fine. After thinking about it, because like, should I try to exchange her, or ask for some kind of discount, be one of those collectors, which I am sometimes, so I'm not putting anyone down if you are. But then after I thought about it longer, I thought, you know what, a lot of people buy two of the doll they care about a lot, or the character they care about a lot, in case there's damage like this. And I know we shouldn't have to do that, but it is something that we keep in our minds, because Disney Store, and probably every collectible company, is notorious for doing that. So after sitting with her for a while, because like I said, she was released in December, and then I've had her for a month. It took me a while to go pick her up because I had her shipped to my US address. Like I said, picked her up a while ago. It was a month ago. And I didn't know what occasion I was going to open up for, because I was already too late to be like, oh, this new release doll, I have her to unbox. But I was like, you know what? February is Black History Month, so it is an ideal time to talk as much as I can about Tiana or any other black dolls I collect. But Tiana being Disney's first black princess, it makes it like a good excuse to have waited another month to open her. And it gave me time to like sit on things, and do I want to call Disney and be that collector? But I decided not to, as I think I already made clear. So I probably should have been saying all this as I was unboxing her, but I do want to show a little bit of the unboxing as well. So let me put this, like I said, 10th anniversary Tiana out of the way, who's wearing the Tonner gown, while I do the unboxing of the doll. So they come with this ribbon that's, as of now, factory tied. And I can never tie ribbons that nicely, never make as nice a bow. And then there are two covers for anyone who doesn't collect Disney limited edition dolls. There's this cardboard cover, which also got damaged while it was in shipping. And again, I'm not crying about it, because I've decided I'm probably not going to have the box on display at all. I don't think I'm going to throw it out. And then there's a clear cover, and I think it was probably around, it would have been 5 years ago at this point, where they changed to this. Is it beveled? Is that what you call it when they used to be flat? So if you look at the Tiana doll, where am I? Right here. She doesn't have her plastic cover on because of the glare. I have all these lights on so you can see the dolls clearly. They used to be flat, and now they are in these. Let me put her down. Now they're in these, like, I think it's called beveled clear covers. I don't know what it's stuck on. Oh, wow. Now this is new. So they have a flat back here to keep it in place. I mean, it's new for me, because I don't collect Disney limited edition dolls anymore, just Tiana. And this is the first Tiana doll to come out in 5 years. Well, of this size. And so now you see the boxes in all these pieces. Whoop, maybe I should move her out of the way. Inside the box, they come with a numbered certificate of authenticity. I'm just going to get some of these things out of the way so I can talk about these. I wanted to have all these dolls on the table, and now look what's happening. Stress. So inside it comes in, is this sealed? I don't think I've ever opened one of these before. It's going to be loud. So this is the only place that has her number. Right now she is 136 of 3,500. And that's another funny thing about Tiana is usually the dolls, the limited edition princess dolls that they do are around 5,500 now, I think. They started out 5,000 back in, I think it was 2008 or 2009 when Snow White came out. And the numbers have just kind of been all over the place ever since, especially Tiana. So for this one, like I said, 3,500. So they dropped her limited edition price. I'm going to bring her close. And then you can see the nice pattern that's on the back of her box. It's kind of a holographic, I think it's lily pads. That's like that's part of her theming. And so this dress, this gown, this is what I'm gonna have a little bit to talk about. It's based on the concept art, I believe, of what she's wearing in the finale of her new ride, which is good and bad. It's good for me because I'm a Tiana collector and I love seeing her new things, but it's bad for everyone else because this is not an iconic outfit. So as I'm recording this video 2 months after she came out, the doll is still not sold out, even though there usually is a limit of 1 when there's a limited edition princess coming out. She was limited of 2, luckily for me. But even with limited of 2 and there being a smaller quantity, she hasn't sold out in 2 months, which is a pretty phenomenal thing, bad phenomenal, because usually the dolls, some of the dolls that are really popular, the Frozen dolls, for example, they'll sell out in like, I don't know, I don't want to say seconds, but they're pretty instant sellouts. They're very fast sellouts. So when she was released, and I was like, oh no, 2, that's good for me. But what if everybody goes and buys 2? And I hit the panic button, bought them right away with other merchandise. And I had nothing to worry about because, well, nothing to worry about buying her, but something to worry about that she's not selling. Even though she's very beautiful. Let me bring her back. So you can see that this new face sculpt this is a little bit more of who Tiana should be, because in the movie, she, at least to her fans, people like me, she is known for her big, beautiful smile. And aside from her first 12-inch doll, classic doll, we called them in the Disney collector community, is the only, for the first 2 of the classic dolls that they released, she had the big smile, not the sculpt. I'll show her in a second because I do have the original one down here, like I said, 12-inch. This is the time where they really got her facial expression right, because this, and there may be glare, she's mint in box, and I'm never going to open her because she's special. She came out with the release of the movie, so if you see her smile looks a little bit dead in the eyes. There's just something, it's nice because she's smiling with her teeth, which is what Tiana is known for, but it's just something about it doesn't look as beautiful as this doll here. And the new sculpt that I'm talking about came out, what year are we in? 2025. So the end of 2023. Disney, I think they are still doing these, what they call the holiday dolls, and they started a few years ago, and they're numbered in order the year they come out. But of course, when they decided to do Tiana for 2023, they, instead of making her a holiday Christmas doll, they changed her number to 2024. And I'm going to say, for me, I like that they made it 2024 because I only collect Tiana, and 2024 is her 15th anniversary. So I was like, oh good, she could be like an anniversary doll. I'm going to open one of these. So I'm just going to show you how she came packaged. So I got 2 of these, of course. And so see, the problem is, I don't even know if you can see through all the glare. Where's it written? So up here, it's white, so you probably can't see it very clearly, but it's 2024, even though she came out in 2023. So everyone who collected the holiday dolls to get them in sequential order, they were upset that they skipped 2023, but they probably did another 2024 doll for the holidays. Again, I don't know. I believe they did though. Should have thought about this, should have looked into that. So it's like they're always doing these weird things to sabotage Tiana. I don't know if it's on purpose, if it's just they're not thinking, or if they don't know what their customers want, but putting her holiday doll with the wrong year, skipping a year, making her a New Year's doll, because that's why they said, oh, we changed her number because she's considered a New Year's doll because of what she's wearing. It's almost like, I guess, a party regalia kind of outfit. And I love the doll. Like I said, I got 2, I'll open one later. I love the doll, but I'm a Tiana collector. Holiday doll collectors are just going to skip her, and that's what happened. So she was another one. I bought 2 because I don't know if there was a limit, but I was like, I need one to open, one to keep mint. And so everyone was skipping her again. So I think within, like, I don't know, a couple weeks of when I purchased the 2 that I got, they went on sale because they weren't selling. And it seems like they keep doing these things to Tiana for some reason. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a Tiana stan and I'm a collector of her. And I feel like they are always making these weird decisions when it comes to her merchandise, things that will still appeal to Tiana fans, but it won't appeal to the mass collector market the way they do with their other dolls when they release them in iconic outfits, or, you know, put the right number on their holiday doll. Because what I was going to say about Tiana's new outfit, so the thing is, there are outfits that collectors are always asking for when it comes to certain characters, whether it's an outfit you don't see because you don't think you can glam it up, like what we would call a village outfit. They're, they're just, they do their best. They put embroidery and do all these other fancy fabrics to make them look really nice and collectible. And uh, for me, so this was her 10th anniversary doll, but I don't think it's her most iconic outfit as much as the green gown, which you can't see over here, what I'm pointing at. So I think when her 10th anniversary doll came out, I was excited because I got to see her in my favorite look. But I don't think other collectors. This is going to sound really bad, but I used to go to the Disney store a lot, so I was. That's not what's going to sound bad, but I'm going to say it in the end will sound bad. And the people who worked there used to tell me that when there were a couple years that they released her classic doll, this doll here. Usually she's put in her green gown because that's her most iconic gown. That's what we see at the parks. That's what we see on the merchandise. And then a couple years they did her classic doll in the blue gown. And people would come in and not even know who she was. They would think she was Cinderella from the 90s. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to sound really bad. I'm frustrated or annoyed just saying it out loud. So I think when they put her in this gown, she's just not as beloved by the masses as far as Disney collectors go. And of course, there are Disney collectors who want all of them and they're still going to love her in any look they do her in. But particularly for the 15th anniversary, especially since we haven't seen her in limited edition doll since whoop, whoop, this one here, when the movie was in theaters back in 2009. So it definitely would have been I don't know why I'm not unboxing this doll. It definitely would have been a better idea to release the 15th anniversary doll in the green gown, the iconic green gown that a lot of collectors would want, because when the older dolls hit the secondary market, like Tiana, she was the second doll to come out in the, I'm going at this with a tweezer here because the tape is so tight. Because she was the second doll released in the series and they hadn't really caught on yet. Snow White was the first one, and then it was, like I said, Tiana, because her movie was in the theater. It was just timing that they did that for her. I'm going to get this off. Okay. So a lot of the dolls that were released, the 5,000 that released in the first run, back in 2009, are with either their forever homes, because there are people who want to collect all the Disney dolls. I don't even need to take that tape off. That's why I wasn't talking and unboxing at the same time. So because all the older the first release of the limited edition doll are harder to find, I just think she would have done a lot better if they had put her in her iconic green gown. But like I said, they love to sabotage this poor girl, at least in my opinion, and from a big Stan fan bias. That's how it feels to me. And I still think, though, the doll herself is very beautiful. Oh, okay. It's a good thing I brought scissors because they're really strapped in here. So they have these like T tags going into their head from the back. They put these dolls in poses that it's meant to go up on your shelf and never be touched. And I think that was another thing because she has a very stiff pose. So I just think there were a lot of things kind of working not in her favor for this particular release. And again, I love this doll. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. And even though it's not an iconic outfit, I haven't even been on the ride yet. So I've seen it, of course. I've seen the outfit in question. And that's another funny thing, that I could be wrong about what happens. But like I said, it's based on, this gown is based on her concept art for the ride and not the actual look that she has when you go through the ride and see her at the end. So many T tags, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to put them all out kind of quickly. And I think what happens with these dolls, especially ones that are made sort of ahead of time rather than retrospect, like after the dolls or the movies or whatever has already been released. So I think, she would have been her, how many are on here? Her, I think it's concept art because they would have had to give dolls take a long time to produce. It's not just about coming up with concept and then making them overnight. Like they can take upwards of a year, maybe even longer, I've heard, for dolls. Never worked in manufacturing, but that's just what I've heard on the collector side. So they have to give them usually an early rendition of the outfit, whether it's a movie that hasn't come out yet or a ride that hasn't come out yet. So that's why I think it's this part here that may not be in the final look. And I haven't been on, and I'm trying not to spoil the ride for me because I am going to go one day. I don't know when, but I am going to go. I've had to cancel the trip for the second time. So I'm trying not to spoil it too much. So it's like, I could have gone on and looked at pictures and seen how true it is to the actual gown, but I'm okay just to see this as its own thing, because even if, where is that? Is this tucked under her arms? Oh man. So even if it is, even if it isn't a good, like a exact likeness, I used to have this opinion with other collectors. We talked about it too. Disney, it's like Disney is always, they don't never do a perfect replica of any of their characters because it's like you can't have, it creates this gotta have them all feeling where it's like, oh, now I have this version of the outfit, but I don't have the quintessential exact replica of this particular character's outfit. So it's like that, gotta catch them all. But I mean, even if they had like five, for me, even if they even if that one was perfect, I keep pointing, never know where to point because it's in the monitor, and it's just it's funny on my brain. Even if she was perfect, even if she were like a perfect replica, can't be beat, and they released another version that wasn't quite as good, I'd still want it because there would be differences even if it's just the mold. And the hands have a new mold. Well, they have for quite a while. So all the dolls up on the table have the newer hand mold. And my table's covered in tea tags. So now let me go in and talk about this not quite yet iconic outfit that they put her in. It's very detailed. It's got a, like a 20s style waist that comes out, a little bit of a, like the drop waist, because it's still inspired by the flappers of the 20s, because her story takes place in the 1920s. I guess it starts in the 1910s when she's a kid. I'm trying to get these weird things out of here so you don't have to look at her. There we go. This is a lot of Velcro. How do I get this out? I don't want to have to completely de-dress her for this part. Just throw you in there. Yeah, this is kind of wrapped around her in a really funky way. Because even though I'm not keeping her in this outfit, I'm probably going to put it on her. Because I want to see, like I said, okay, so the thing about her is the putting the two dolls beside each other, the new mold and the 10th anniversary, let's call it mold. Sculpt, sorry. Most collectors call them sculpts. So she's got, oh wow, she has a clasp on her necklace for once. So this doll, her necklace doesn't have a clasp. You have to remove her head to remove it. Can you see her, or is it still showing my face? So I'm hoping you can see how pretty this doll's face is. Just the details of it. She's just got, the screening is so pretty. They've made her look so happy, so cheerful. And the thing about this sculpt, being not just being a closed mouth, her not smiling with her teeth, is they've done her expression, because in this point in the movie, she's gotten some bad news. So she's not very happy in this scene, which is probably another thing people don't love about this particular look. But that was a very pivotal scene in the movie for me. So very beautiful, of course, but she doesn't look as joyful as she would because this is her wedding gown. Her back end. So I think the reason this outfit would look best on this version of the doll is because she's so cheerful. And she's cheerful, I'm assuming, at the end of the ride too. Again, haven't spoiled it for myself. So I just think that's why she looks like that for this particular outfit. They wanted to give her a very cheerful mold, a sculpt. Bad habit I'm developing. And so I think that's what's going to make this outfit really pop on her. And now she has so many elastics and everything. Everything's kind of held together with tea tags. They love tea tags at Disney Store, just so you know. They're limited edition dolls. And so if you're wondering about the details of the outfit, one of the things that Disney collectors love is embroidery. So this is all embroidered across her bodice. I could probably show it even better when I take it off her. She's got embroidery around these cutouts on the wrong side of my face, on the cutouts on the sleeve, and then there are these big rhinestones. See, I'm a rhinestone lover. When it came to Disney collecting, the limited edition dolls, I didn't really care that much about embroidery, but I did love the rhinestones and everything like sparkly. And I think this is metal. Yeah, this sounds like a metal. So I think her tiara, I'm trying to cover my face, but is metal with specialty sized and shaped rhinestones in them. So even because I used to replace all my dolls with Swarovski, all their plastic rhinestones, but I wouldn't be able to in something like that. So I'm trying to see, I want to show you the saddle stand that these dolls come on. And they look like, have they changed? I thought they were rounder than this. Now they're more like an oval. Let me peek. Oh yeah, she lost her menu. Yeah, so they used to be, so I'll show you the bottom, and don't mind her green shoes. It's because the Tiana shoes. So it used to be a round stand, which I think you can pick up with the glare, as opposed to this oval stand now. So that's something I didn't realize had changed because, like I said, I haven't collected the Disney limited edition princesses for quite a while. Last one I bought for the 17-inch size. I don't know if I'm gonna, because I was thinking how I'm probably not going to change the jewelry because, oh, do I need to take off her hands to get off this dress? Because if so, I'm gonna have to go warm her up. These hands do not remove easily for me. The Disney Store hands, and her hands do seem really tight. The sleeves seem really tight, but at least they have the same hands. So one thing I could talk about, because I get asked this all the time, and I was kind of alluding to it with when I talked about her blue dress. People always ask why Tiana is my favorite princess. And these sleeves, oh no. Oh, got it. Got one down. And before I get to talking about why she's my favorite princess, I want to tell you a little ironic thing was I wasn't able to see, when the movie was released in 2009, I wasn't able to go see it in theater because I live in Toronto, Canada. And at the time, 2009, when the movie came out, we had in the city an epidemic of bed bugs, a bed bug epidemic. So one of the things our like mayor and our media was talking about was don't go to the theater because that's where they're very spreadable. That's where they're very contagious because they get inside people's bags and they can jump from, you know, like their stuff to your stuff. And because it's a dark theater, that's where they were really spreading. So, you know, because of, I don't need to talk about this so much longer, but yeah. So when the movie came out in theater that year, I wasn't able to go see it. And it didn't even, I wasn't, at the time, I wasn't that worried. I wasn't that concerned because I had kind of grown out of, I'm just trying to get the saddle stand off without like ruining her painted on undies. All right, here we go. So because I had kind of fallen out with Disney movies anyway, I wasn't that concerned about it at the time. But then when the movie hit Blu-ray, I bought it right away because I was excited to see the movie, but I was like, I'm not, it's not that tragic that I can't go. I'll just see it on Blu-ray. I didn't know I was going to love the movie as much as I would. And so here, now you can see the dress up closer with the bric-a-brac, whatever this stuff is called that's dangling. Or maybe this is bric-a-brac or ric-rac, whatever it's called. But it's a very nice material. All the materials are really nice. I do think Disney Store, when they do their limited edition dolls, they use, I would say, the best possible materials, fabrics for the price point. So they always are, they're not always lined or anything like that, but they do always feel nice and look nice. They display really in a really pretty way. So when the movie came out, it wasn't until I saw it on Blu-ray that I really had a chance to fall in love with it. One last thing before I continue with that is, so this doll is, like I said, this is the Tonner gown, and this is the Tonner doll. So I have two because once I knew that the new Tiana doll was coming out, I definitely needed to put put this gown on a Disney Store doll because even though the Tonner dolls are very beautiful, they're very stylized and they don't necessarily look exactly like the characters that they're often depicting. But the best, like these are their clothes are definitely better than, I'm trying to show you the shoes because the shoes are so cute, but they don't fit Disney Store dolls. Is that working? So they're like shoes with a strap, very detailed. And I can't even get it. Here we go. So yeah, the outfits, these are like this, like what would you say, most deluxe quality fabrics and craftsmanship and just the way everything displays. Tonner, I wish I don't think they do Disney dolls anymore, but even if they did, they wouldn't do Tiana, so I guess it wouldn't matter to me. But what I'm saying is excellent quality stuff from I think she's 17 inch, 16 inch, whatever it is. These are 17-inch dolls and the clothes fit. So when the movie came out on Blu-ray, when I was finally able to see it, like I said, she's got blue shoes on underneath because the shoes don't fit. So I don't know, I might have to switch the shoes around too because she can't wear blue shoes with this dress, but I'm not going to show you her. Anyway, back to the story. So once the movie finally came out on Blu-ray, I got it right away. And I wasn't, like I said, I was kind of excited about the movie because I saw some scenes that Magical World of Disney that used to come on Sunday nights played before a movie that they would play to promote the movie. And it really sucked me in because it gave me that old Disney feeling, being 2D animation and everything, and kind of brought me back to what I loved about Disney before they went all weird with Chicken Little and all those movies. And so I fell in love with what I liked about the character right away was that she seemed different from other princesses in that she had more going on in her story. Like she had ambition. Oh, and just so you know, these elastics are starting to erode. This one just snapped because I noticed that hers had eroded and snapped on its own, and this one just from touching it. But it's like I said, 15. It's a 15-year-old gown, so I'm not upset. I kind of expected it to happen. So because I got to kind of it was like nostalgic to see this new Disney movie with the best. It's like I don't think 2D animation will ever be better than what it was for Princess and the Frog. And so just so you see the pieces, there's this crinoline that gives it. Again, this is the Tonner dress. I don't think it's really relevant to talking about the new Disney doll, but just in case you're wondering what the details are with everything that came on the Tonner dress. So it was like the best 2D animation that I've ever seen to this day, which makes sense. I mean, you know, the technology had advanced and they hadn't really done 2D animation, anybody, in years at the time this came out. But I think because it was 2D animation, there just wasn't as much of a demand. Should this have gone on first? I think this should go on first. There wasn't, I think it just felt dated before it even came out. So I felt like there wasn't very much excitement for it. I wanted to see it because it reminded me of, you know, Disney movies from when I was a kid that I loved being 2D. But I just felt like they were really promoting it, I feel like, at the time, but I feel like it wasn't really resonating for whatever reason. And then, like I said, bad news, I wasn't able to go to see it in theater at the time because of what was happening in my city. Now, on top of her being ambitious and having this really interesting story arc for the character, I really enjoyed it. Before I get to the frog scene, though, one of the things that really hit me was when she got on the balcony. So she was in the movie. She's trying to open a restaurant. She's so close. She's working so hard. She's working like 2 jobs, and that's the only thing she wants to do because she wanted to open a restaurant with her father. This is a beautiful gown, and he fought in the war and he didn't make it, let's say. And so she has this thing. It was this love that they shared together, making food. And so she wants to do it for herself, but also, you know, for her love for her father and what they had in common. And that brochure that you see there, that's the menu that they came up with together. This, and then if you look on the back, oh, there's no way you can see that from here. Is that working? And then on the back, it's a family portrait, which is one of my favorite promotional stills from the movie. It's not from the movie, I think. It's just a promotional still that they made. And so that was when I really fell in love with the character of Tiana, was when she is singing up on the balcony that she was almost there. So the first time she sings almost there, she's singing about, you know, she's got all her money saved up. She's just got to clean up the place and then get ready to open. She has a really wobbly head. And then when she sings it again, she's singing about how she was almost there and now she doesn't know what, you know, she's kind of back at square one because one of the things the people who were going to sell her the property said to her was that they take her hand and say, you know, a lady of your background, you know, I'm assuming pointing at the color of her skin, is better off where she's at, not achieving her dreams. So something about that just kind of, as a Disney fan and, you know, like a lifelong Disney fan, I thought it was really sad and it kind of reminded me of one of my other favorite properties, Hunchback of Notre Dame, when I was a kid, that also dealt with way more head-on than Princess and the Frog. Dealt with her, sorry, not dealt with her, dealt with, you know, racism and other like classism and things like that, but way more bravely, let's say. So it made me empathize with the character, and it was the first time I really felt that for a Disney princess, and that's why I think, as I didn't know that I was ever going to have a favorite princess. Like, I just collected Disney stuff when I got into collecting Disney stuff, and so at that time, I didn't really think I would have. I wasn't looking at the movie yet as like, oh, is this my favorite princess? Because I didn't really think of that being a thing. I think I am going to swap out her tiara is so pretty and it's like elasticated into her hair. Do I want to do this? Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, but this is probably more accurate and a higher quality. I think. I think once I remove this, I'm able to get it back in. Mm. And some people, I've seen other people put her in the dress I keep pointing at that's behind me. I'm not going to keep doing it because I suck at it. But I've seen a lot of people to redo her hair, like to make it look more movie accurate. But I actually like, she's got these like finger waves going across. Let me bring her a little closer now, just to show you how pretty, like, I keep saying how pretty she is because she is. So, cover my face. There we go. That's better. So I think for now, I'm going to leave this in, and I don't think it's important because it does look enough like her tiara. It's based on her tiara. Yeah, I'll revisit it later if I need to. Because the other thing I want to do is open up. I don't think I'll think about if I want to put this on the other doll. But really, I just want to show her in the Tonner gown. And if I feel like I'll come back at the end. Because I also wanted to open up, so I showed you the New Year's doll, who I'm keeping sealed. And I feel like the plastic cover on this one has not aged as well. So I've had these for over a year. And I was, again, thinking of the right occasion to open the doll. Not thinking, this is way before I had, well, not way before. It's a few months before I had a channel. So I didn't think I would be doing it on my channel. So now I can, just to show these sculpts, the same sculpt up close. Because I don't know if I said this yet, because I talk a lot. But when this doll came out last year, and again, knowing that her 15th anniversary is around the corner, and being happy that they called her the 2024 doll, selfishly, I was like, oh yeah, they made a new sculpt because it's not gonna pop out. I thought that was gonna be so easy. Oh, there's more to it, I get it. I was like, oh, they're making a new doll, and that's why they developed this new sculpt, and she's so pretty, and I can't wait to see her in the 17-inch scale. And so I just didn't have, at the time, anywhere that I was planning on displaying an open one, but this is good. Did I get it? Now I can, I guess, display them side by side or something. And I don't know. I might not keep her in this dress. The idea was to have these two together, because I do have the other, what I had was the doll I originally had that outfit on. I originally had them displayed together as in like a before and after. But I think because she goes from being sad in the before shot to being really happy, I think that they would display together better as the before and after. Oh man, so many of these little tape circles. I should have cheated and done this first, but I didn't know it was this hard to open up. And so yeah, back to, so that was how I kind of fell in love with the character. And slowly over time, as I became more and more of a Disney collector, and I started an Instagram account for my Disney dolls, because I used to have a lot of limited edition dolls, and then there were a few characters I really featured a lot, like Tiana, obviously, but also Snow White, who else? Moana, and there might have been others at some point, but Tiana was the one that, she was the constant, the one whose collection kept growing. This not done. Wow. I keep putting this away only to have to pull it out again. So as the follower count on my Instagram grew, oh, and live action Cinderella, that was the big one. How did I forget that? That's so rude. So as the followers grew on my Disney account, I feel like it's almost like when you are collecting something and you're sharing it on social media and people react positively to it, it radicalizes you. So before I knew it, it was fun watching my Tiana collection grow even further on my Instagram, because I just felt like people were really into it. And because she's the Black Princess, at the time she was the only Disney Black Princess. All that just to get this out. Wow! This box was going in the garbage. I hated that. Because she's Disney's first and then only Black Princess, obviously I would have, here's the pretty sculpt that I was been talking about. Obviously I shouldn't say obviously, but my account attracted a lot of Tiana fans who also happen to be Black. And through that, they shared their experiences as both like a Black doll collector, Black Disney fan. And I feel like it was one of those, oh, I should have brought a doll stand. Do I have a doll stand for her? Are these boots 1920s? You tell me when I get her open. So it was like learning about the experience, an experience I could never have, through my collection and through my Instagram. It made me feel like a different relationship with the character, I think. Because up until that point, and here's where I have to admit my stupid ignorance, one of the things about Tiana that made me feel close to her was I'm left-handed, and both the character and the voice actor, Anika Noni Rose, that really hit me in the face. They're left-handed too. Well, Tiana's left-handed because Anika Noni Rose asked if the animators could make her left-handed to have a connection with her. So I was like, wow, she's left-handed like me. That's so cool. And then, obviously, through my Instagram and hearing everybody talk about their connection with her, was like, yeah, I guess that's more important. But, not in a bad way. It's just like, she's multifaceted, Tiana. she represents for a lot of people, I guess. But it did make me feel closer to people's experience and what they would share with me. And there were a lot of things I experienced on Instagram, good and bad, because I'm a Tiana stan. And sorry, I don't even know where these little T tags are because Disney's obsessed. And it's right under some fur, and I don't want to ruin the fur. So, more T tags. I'm sorry. I'm like halfway attentive to what I'm talking about. So yes, over time, as my collection grew and people were very excited and supportive to see it, and it's just almost like, in a way, we were, this sounds so weird, but it felt like kind of like I was collecting with people, because I was always sharing things, and then people were really excited about it, and getting to see it all in one place was like I was curating this ultimate Tiana collection, like a gallery, like a museum. And this is my first time seeing her out and open, and wow, so pretty. The difference between, I don't know if I had more to say that, but if I think of it, I will. Here, my big head. Here. Oh, no, wrong way. Sorry, the monitor makes my brain go backwards. So the big difference between her sculpt at this scale and this scale is they root eyelashes. So there are painted eyelashes. Well, no, Tiana doesn't really have painted eyelashes. She just has a painted wing. Like she has like I think it's called a wing. But I think it's supposed to be an eyelash in the movie. It just, on 2D, looks like a wing. So whenever they paint her, like her screening, more details. They give her a wing, and then in this doll's case, they gave her a wing and rooted eyelashes, right? Yeah, I haven't really talked much about the makeup. So it's like they gave her a white wing, like silver, like her eye makeup is silver and gold, I would say. And then the rooted eyelashes. Let's see if I can get close enough to show them side by side and cover my big face. So yeah, when she came out last year, this one, 2023, I mean, the end of the year before, I was really excited to see what they were going to do when they scaled her up. And so these holiday dolls are, I think they're $50 US. These, by the way, are 150 US right now. So it's 3 times the price. And these are actually pretty detailed for a $50 doll. Plastic, like where she's got metal on her tiara, earrings, and necklace. She's got a plastic headband, like a flip 1920s. Oh my God, I keep not covering my face. She just has a plastic little headband. And plastic, and that's the other thing. They always have plastic molded shoes. And she's got these, I don't know, I'm getting like Alice in Wonderland off of this. I'm not getting 1920s, roaring 1920s, but I don't really know fashion that well. My fashion knowledge is always based on dolls. And I feel like these kind of boots were on the live action Alice dolls. And then there's a plastic, well, it's beads, so it's okay that they're plastic, but a necklace that is attached, T-tagged, because they love their T-tags, to her bodice. And I know this isn't even about this doll, but I'm seeing it for the first time, so I'm excited. Instead of embroidery, they have, it's like glitter, screen printed glitter maybe here. And they have this robe, or whatever you would call this. It's like a scaled down velvet almost. That's what it feels like. Because oftentimes on their limited edition 12-inch dolls, designer dolls they call them, they're velveteen velour. It's usually too big for the scale of dolls, so it makes them look like they're wearing a blanket. But this, whatever they've used, it's a much smarter material, and it's probably even cheaper because it's so thin. But it looks really good. It looks really good to scale, and there are layers. And this one keeps tugging up, but I mean, it's been folded up there for a couple years now. Well, a year and a half. So I don't know if I need to say anything else, but I'm really excited to have this doll and finally share it because, as I said, oh, I know what I wanted to say. So every time I talk about Tiana now, and I talk about her being the first Black Disney princess, yes, I said that right. I'll often say I don't know if she's the only Black Disney princess anymore because I haven't seen the movie Wish. So I still haven't seen the movie Wish, but I at least looked into the character to find out if she actually is Black, because she has like what they call box braids. We always called them micro braids growing up, but braided hair, and she has elevated features. So she looks like she is a Black character the way she's drawn. And when I looked it up, I believe she's biracial. That's what I read. And she's not a princess, at least not in the official sense. She's a heroine, a Disney heroine. So I think I can still say, Some people count Princess Shuri, and absolutely you should if you know you're a Marvel fan and you like the idea of Shuri being part of the Disney princess lineup, because I guess technically it's not wrong. But as far as the official Disney princesses go, she is still the only Black Disney princess. And even though it would be nice to see a Disney princess story based in Africa rather than taking an America, because that's the other thing about Tiana is she and Pocahontas are the only characters whose stories take place in America. Granted, Pocahontas is before it became America, or no, it was America at the time, wasn't it? Jamestown. And I don't know enough about American history. I'm Canadian. Don't be mad. But her story takes place in the 1920s, so she's absolutely American. And it's funny how people aren't more interested in her because of that. And the other thing that made me one day, I just had this realization of it's really nice that Tiana is the only Disney princess who's a minority in her story. Obviously, the princesses come from all over the world, but and I always use Mulan as an example because she's Chinese, so a minority if she lived in America or North America, but she lives in China in her story. So Tiana, being the only Black princess who lives in America, therefore a minority, aside from being a woman, I think that's another thing that makes her really special. Is a lot of people could probably self-insert or self-identify with her story because people just have different kinds of struggles and maybe they can relate to her a little bit more. I don't know if I started out saying I need to say anything else. I'm looking at all the dolls I brought up. I think that's everything I need to say. I have a whole bunch of Disney dolls behind me, Tiana dolls behind me, sorry, just in case anybody's always ever interested in seeing anything else. I have so many Tiana dolls. I think I might have the biggest Princess and the Frog collection in the world, at least on social media. I'm sure there are some. Please tell me if you're no, I've seen your room and mine's way, way more intense. That would be amazing, to be honest. And I do think she has her fan base, and she's a very important princess for many reasons. But she's the last 2D princess. They brought back 2D for her, just for that one movie. She's got a show coming out someday on Disney Plus, and I haven't renewed my Disney Plus subscription because she's not on there. I mean, Princess and the Frog, sure, but I have that movie in multiples. What else do I need to say? I think that's it, and I think I talked about a lot, way more than I expected to. And to anyone out there who's not a Tiana fan and you're just following along because you've seen my other videos, thanks for following along for this one. And to anyone else who is a Tiana fan, nice to see you too, for sure. And to everyone else, I will see you soon in the next one.